everybody, how's it going? My name is Chris Lemp and I'm from the Dynamic Drum School, and this is the 4th week of the Drum Play Along series. This is a 4-week series with 3 different levels. In the first video we went over showing you a drum beat that would fit the bass track for each level. The second week we went over a drum fill for each level. Last week gave you some ideas for your own drum beat, and this week I want to show you some ideas for your own drum fills. So I'll go through each level separately, give you 2 examples of 2 fill ideas, and then the ideas kind of experiment, explore, see if you can come up with any other ideas based on those ideas, and then go from there. And try to write them out. Don't forget there's a free PDF in the description below that has my original beats and fills, and then there's a space and the music notation for you to write out your own beats and your own fills. So I'd love for all my students to record everything, bring it into the lesson, and if you're having trouble writing it out, we'll go over that in lesson. If anybody else finds this that's not a student of mine, feel free to record yourself and send me links to the drum fills and the drum beats that you come up with. I'd be happy to check them out, give you any comments or feedback. So I hope you enjoy this series. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. All right, let's take a look at level 1. What I want to do is keep the rhythm the same. We're just going to play 4 16th notes on beat 3 and 4 16th notes on beat 4, but we're just going to move the 16th notes around different drums. So on beat 3, we're going to start on the snare, 2 16th notes on the snare, then go up to 2 16th notes on the small tom, back to 2 16th notes on the snare drum, and then end with 2 16th notes on the floor tom. So what I'll do is I'm going to play the whole measure. I'm going to count it off and then play half of the measure with the drum beat, and then play the fill, and then we'll just repeat that a couple times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and Great, now just speed that up. Try it at 90 next. If that's too fast, just gradually build it up, and then try to build it up to the full speed so you can jam with the song. For the second example, we're going to move 4 16th notes up to the small tom, and then 4 16th notes onto the floor tom, and we'll just loop this like we did with the other example and jam along with me at 60 beats per minute. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1. One more time. 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1. Great. So now that you got that at 60 beats per minute, try that faster. Gradually get faster. See if you can get it all the way up to full speed, and then try it with the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, Let's take a look at level 2. I want to give you 2 fill examples. Both examples are going to be the exact same rhythm as the original fill, but I'm just going to orchestrate it differently. Just move the rhythm around to different drums. So the first example, we're going to start up on the small tom. We've got 2 on the small tom, 3 on the floor tom, then 2 on the medium tom, 3 on the floor tom, and then we're ending 2 on the snare, and then 2 on the floor tom, and then ending on beat 1 with the hi-hat. So let's try this at 60 beats per minute. I'm just going to repeat these 2 measures. I'm going to count off and then repeat the 2 measures, and then we'll loop it and practice along with me a couple times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. One more time. 2, 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. All right, let's check out the second example. This one I'm going to do 4 on the snare, going up to the small tom, back to 4 on the snare, heading over to the floor tom, and then 4 again on the snare, ending on beat 1. Same thing, let's try this at 60 beats per minute. We'll loop the 2 measures, practice along with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. One more time. 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1. Cool. Once you feel comfortable at 60 beats per minute, start speeding up the tempo. Try to gradually build it up, and then once you get up to full speed, which is 110 beats per minute, jam along with the song. And then if that's easy, try there's a lot of other examples around that with that same rhythm, different tom examples, snare examples. You could even try it with a hi-hat if you want, or a cymbal. So have fun with it and record it, and we'll check it out at the lesson. One, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's check out level 3. I want to give you 2 examples. The first one is almost the same. I just want to make it a little busier at the end and add a 16th note triplet on B4. The second example is to give you an idea of how you don't always necessarily have to play a fill on the toms. This is going to be a subtle fill ending on the beat on just the hi-hat and the snare with just a 5-stroke roll. Let's check out the first example. The first 3 beats are the same. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and then on beat 4 I changed it and did a 16th note triplet. 4 triplet and triplet 1. So you notice the sticking, I did right, right, left, right, right, left. And the first 2 hits are on the snare drum. And then down to the floor tom, right, right, left. So the counting is 4 triplet and triplet 1. So, or you can think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. With the sticking, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. So let's try this at 60 beats per minute. I'm going to loop these two measures, count it off, and then loop the two measures and practice along with me. 3 and 4 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So that's really cool. It really kind of adds a lot of excitement right at the end. Let's check out the second example. This one is going to stay the same. We're going to keep the beat actually. We're not going to break into a fill. So take a look. Everything is the same except for the last beat. So you're going to play the exact same example. I chose the example that I put in last week. You could keep playing the beat or use your beat. And then notice just on beat 4, we have the hit on the 4 with the hi and the snare, and then right, right, left, left. That's just two 30-second notes on the hi-hat, two 30-second notes on the snare, and then ending on beat 1 to finish. 2, 3, and 4. And so this last fill, I just wanted to give you some ideas of how you can kind of keep the groove going. You don't have to change much. You don't have to break away. Especially sometimes in funk music, you have to be careful of breaking away with a fill. It can kind of screw up the groove, screw up the feel. So this is a cool way of just adding a little something to it to create a little more excitement. This is really inspired by Steve Gadd because he'll do this a lot with paradiddles, double paradiddles, and 5-stroke rolls. So this is just a double, you know, right, right, left, left. But it's really cool just adding it at the end of the beat, in the middle of a beat. It adds a cool little flavor to it. So experiment with that if you want to add that 5-stroke roll in other parts. It's a really good way to work on your doubles too. So also practice with the 32 measure loop and try just putting it maybe every 4 measures, every 8 measures, whatever you want. Just try it and feel free to record anything. Send me a link to it. I'd be happy to check it out. And we'll see you next time. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.